So unfortunately, you've just been laid off and dubbed a
low self-opinion man. I see you standing all by yourself.
Here's what you're really a victim of. You're a victim of stack ranking, also known as Rank and Yank.
It required that people be graded from a 1 to a 5, and roughly 10% of people had to be a 5, and those people were supposed to be fired, hence this came to be known as Rank and Yank.
Here's the thing. This is straight out of the 1980s playbook from the late, maybe not so great Jack Welch of GE fame.
According to data from the Economic Policy Institute, the year that Jack Welch took over as the CEO of General Electric was the last year when increases in worker productivity kept pace with increases in wages. Make of that what you would.
What Jack basically said was, we need to get rid of the low performers. So let's have all of the peers and colleagues at these companies basically have Hunger Games against one another. What Welch believed is you give 10% to the highest performers, you give the other 80% to middle performers, and you give the bottom 10% to low performers, and you get them out.
Third prize is you're fired. You get the picture?
Now, here's why this is interesting, because what it really does is it creates a culture of toxicity. Yes, toxicity, because all you have to do is just outrun your colleagues. So when you show up at the beginning of every fiscal year, if you look around at your team and you're on a team of, let's say, 10, you know that 1 or 2 are going to be high performers. The other 6 or 7 are going to be middle, and there's always going to be one that's ousted. And all you have to do is outrun that bear.
In Outrun the Bear, you are racing against the bear and, to some extent, against the other players.
This is why these playbooks don't really make a lot of sense. What companies really are trying to do is just lay people off. And what they really should do is just lay them off like the rip of a Band-Aid. But they won't do it. The street doesn't reward mass layoffs because you got to pay people. The other reason the street doesn't like it, it makes it look like the company doesn't really know what it's doing.
No one knows what they're doing.
If you're an investor, you may want to hedge your bets against some companies that are doing stack ranking or doing RTO, or basically saying, hey, we are trying to get rid of low performers. We can read through most of this now. All it takes is people who've been on the inside to see how it works. And the last time stack ranking was really used, it wasn't effective. In fact, it led to a lost decade for one of the biggest tech companies in the world.
In a scathing article in Vanity Fair, he writes about Microsoft's lost decade.
I'm Jeffrey Colomb. Follow me on how things really work.
Creative Studies with Jeffrey Colomb.